Most people think of Alma Hunt and state missions, but today your missions board has asked me to connect it with my own grandparents, who were the first missionaries to Brazil, Baptist missionaries anyway. And so I'm giving you a quick summary of my family in relationship to the value of the mission support system that is across the entire country. If you're interested in more after this, I do have a 4-hour video. My great-grandfather was born and grew up in King and Queen County on the eastern side of our town. He left promptly, discovered a pastor's daughter in Kentucky, married her, and promptly again moved to Texas. It was there that they had several children. My grandfather, William Buck Bagby, was born in 1855 outside of Waco, Texas. He himself first decided to be a pastor, and then as time went by, he felt a call to missions. He was invited following the American Civil War to visit with some people in Brazil and fell in love with the country. He promptly then, this is a family of promptlies, asked a gentle lady at age 21 to marry him. The rumor in the family is that he first asked her to go to Brazil as a missionary with him and then asked her to marry him. Whatever happened, at 24 and 21, they left for Brazil as the first Baptist missionaries to Brazil. They came through Richmond as they were about to be appointed by the mission board, the International Mission Board now. He preached at Second Baptist Church in downtown Richmond. When they left, they went to Baltimore, Maryland, and they got on a sailboat, and for 48 days, they went south until they reached Rio. Both of them reported as being seasick. She was the only woman on the board. In 1881, they began work in Salvador in the north, down also from other cities, finally in São Paulo, and then eventually in Porto Alegre, Brazil. As you know, my first language was Portuguese. They, with other missionaries, became part of a wonderful work in what we call state and world missions, global missions. When you are part of the mission enterprise, I wanted you to know that you're working not only in this state and in this country, but part of the WMU and the connection of global missions that places missionaries, over 3,000 of them, around the world. There are 89 languages spoken primarily because Baptists have been in other places and taught and preached to other people. In 1889, a different way to deal with slavery, while her father, the Emperor of Brazil, was out of town, Princess Isabella declared all slaves released. In a very quiet way, in 1889, Brazil became a republic. To my grandfather's surprise, William Buck Bagby was asked to come to a particular cabinet meeting of the Brazilian government, and they're asked to copy or show them a copy of the United States Constitution. It was there that they read, "Congress shall make no law in regard to religion," and separation of church and state from the United States traveled to Brazil. The years have gone by. Good things have occurred. There are now in Brazil 9,728 Baptist churches. There are many Methodist and Presbyterian congregations because the communities of faith work together. And we wanted you to know that part of your mission work doesn't stop here locally or even in the community of what we call Virginia, but it travels around the country and around the world. When you pause with gratitude for what you've done, I give thanks for how you supported my grandparents and my parents. My grandfather and grandmother had 9 children. 4 of them died before they could become part of mission work. The remaining 5 went to Brazil as missionaries, with the exception of one who betrayed the family and went to Argentina as a missionary. When you pray and when you give, with gratitude, the Bagby family and Virginia Baptist thank you for the ways in which you involve yourself in the ministry of good news around the world. Speaking of languages, as you perhaps reflect on your language, here was the way I first heard Psalm 23, and perhaps it can be part of your heart in English. O Senhor é meu pastor, nada me faltará. Deitar-me faz em verdes passos, guia-me mansamente pelas águas tranquilas, por amor ao seu nome. Ainda que eu andasse pelo vale da morte, eu não temerei mal algum, porque tu estás comigo. A tua vara e o teu cajado me consolam. Preparas uma mesa perante mim na presença dos meus inimigos. Unges a minha cabeça com óleo. O meu cálice transborda. Certamente que a bondade e a misericórdia de Deus me conduzirão por todos os dias de minha vida, e habitarei na casa do Senhor por longos dias. May God bless how you pray. May God bless how you give. With gratitude, may God be with us in the ministry of good news.